This video is on exercise 1C, the challenge question of A-Level Further Maths Core 1 textbook. So this question is very interesting, and we actually can use part A to answer part B. Now, let's just start by part A, which is just a simple expansion of a bracket. So in part A, we have a plus bi squared, which can be obtained by a plus bi times a plus bi, and we just expand this bracket as usual. So a times a is a squared, a times bi is abi, bi times a is again abi, and finally bi times bi, which is b squared I squared, and we know that I squared gives us -1, so is equal to -1, and that means that this is equal to minus b squared. So I just wanted to show you that, but there is no need of writing that and then changing that to minus b squared, right? So, and of course we can simplify this, which gives us a squared plus 2abi minus b squared, right? So that's part A done. Now part B is the interesting bit. So hence or otherwise, find root 40 minus 42i, giving your answer in the form a minus bi. So this is going to be important, where a and b are positive constants. Right, so the very first thing is that whenever you see the word hence in a question, it's usually better to use what you found from the previous part. Because when they say hence or otherwise, they are indirectly suggesting you to use that. Because if you want to use another method or another thing, it will probably be, messy. And you don't want to do that. So now here the thing is, okay, so how should we use part A? So how is that going to help us? That's the thing. And, here is a bit, it may take you a while to realize, but once you realize that, the steps are just going to come naturally because they will just follow very nicely. Now, what is the very first thing that may not be very clear to realize? Now, here it all comes down to realize that if you have something like this, a plus bi, then, this is probably going to be something in this form. Root 40 minus 42i. So why? Because let's just, square both sides. So let's square both sides and see what we're going to get. So we will have a plus bi squared. And then here we will have 40 minus 42i. And we have already, squared the left-hand side in part A. So the left-hand side is going to be a squared minus b squared plus 2abi is equal to 40 minus 42i. So now the reason I wrote that in that way is because a very common technique in this topic in complex numbers is equating their coefficients, because that allows us to equate the real coefficients and imaginary coefficients in order to to get the coefficients. And in this case, we know that a squared minus b squared should be the real should be equal to the real part of the right hand side, and then 2abi is equal to the imaginary part of the left hand side, of the right hand side. Yeah, so this was basically, all the difficulty of this question is just realizing this, and it all starts from here, that if you have something in this form, then you can get to this form, which is the hard bit. But the rest of them hopefully is obvious to you, because you just have to you have to equate the coefficients in order to get the values of a and b. Now let's do that. So we have two equations right now, because one of them is a squared minus b squared is equal to 40. Let's call this equation 1. And then the second one is 2abi, which is minus 42, because That's for the imaginary part. Let's call this equation 2. Now, of course, the best thing is by starting from equation 2 to get one of the values. And in this case, I'm going to find the value of a. So we have, let's write that here, 2ab is equal to minus 42. And let's divide both sides by 2b. So we have minus 42 divided by 2b, which is minus 21b over b. So this is the value of a, and we can substitute this into equation 1. So equation 1 is a squared minus b squared equal to 40. Now let's substitute that into here. So minus 21 over b squared minus b squared is 40, is equal to 40. Now let's solve this. So we get 441 over b squared minus b squared is equal to 40. Now let's multiply both sides by b squared to get rid of that from the denominator. So if you multiply both sides by b squared, you will get 441 minus b to the power of 4 is equal to 40b squared. So yeah, you can rearrange this now. So you get b to the power of 4 plus 40b squared minus 441 is equal to 0. Of course, you can you have different ways of solving this equation, but one of the the easier ways is just like factorizing. So yeah, if you want to factorize this, minus 9 and 41 are going to satisfy the conditions, because 40 minus 9 is 40, which gives us the coefficient of b squared. And for this bit, if we multiply minus 9 by 49, we will get minus 441. So now let's do, we are going to have, be careful here, is b squared, not b, because the original one is b to the power of 4. B squared minus 9 times b squared plus 49 is equal to 0. Now here is the part that we should be very careful. So we have now, let's solve for the value of b. So one of the cases is when b squared is equal to 9, and the other case is when b squared is equal to minus 49. And we know that b squared is equal to minus 49 is going to give us two imaginary numbers, and we don't want that, because in the question we know that they're integers. A and b are integers, are positive integers, so that this one doesn't satisfy the conditions mentioned in the question. We just dismiss this one. And now let's look at the other one, which is b squared is equal to 9. So that gives us two values. So b is equal to plus or minus 3. And here is the part that we should be so careful. So let me just, obviously one of these is the correct one, but let me just use both of these values of b to show you what will happen in each scenario. So if I take b as positive 3, then if I want to find the value of a, we know that a is equal to here, a is equal to minus 21 over b. So now a is equal to minus 21 over 3, and that give me minus 7. And this is not correct, because in the question it says a and b are positive integers, and in this case I will get a negative value for a, so it's not correct. Now let's see what happens if I take b equal to minus 3. So in this case, for the value of a, I get 7, which is a positive integer, and that's good. But now you might be wondering that, okay, a is positive, but what about b? Because b is not positive, it's negative. Now here we should be careful, because this value of b that here we chose, that satisfies this condition, because the final goal is to have an answer in the form a minus bi, and this is exactly what we want, because we are going to have 7 minus 3i, right? So yeah, this part is a bit, as I said, it can be confusing at first, especially if you want to do this question very quickly. Yeah, but we should be careful, because if we choose 3 for the value of b, then we will get minus 7, and that's not going to be good. And remember that the goal was to find the value of square root of 40 minus 42i, and now this is the answer. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please subscribe and like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you are waiting for the future videos, because I will be covering all the content of A-Level Maths and Further Maths in this channel. So yeah, that's it for this video. Good luck.